Assalamu alaikum, I'm Naila Edwards. In 2021, we've already seen famous celebrities and well-known influencers reverting to Islam. These include former NBA star Stephen Jackson and German vlogger Christian Betzmann. Both have come out publicly and spoken about the reasons they converted to Islam, but someone who always comes up in the news for this is Lindsay Lohan. For those of you who aren't aware, Lindsay Lohan is an American actress who's known for her roles in Mean Girls and Parent Trap. This has always remained a mystery. Despite her holding a Quran and wearing a headscarf, she's never publicly said she's become Muslim. We're not here to confirm or deny this, but let's look back at the stories and see how her journey learning about Islam has been. Back in 2015, she was pictured holding a Quran while walking the streets of New York, which the American media heavily criticized. And then in 2016, she was seen wearing a headscarf while working with Syrian refugee children in Turkey. Let's watch an interview that she did while in Turkey about both of these incidents.
In America, I was going through a lot with past things that had happened to me over a 10-year span. And my very close friends who have been there for me a lot in London are Saudi, and they gave me Quran. And I brought it to New York because I was learning, and it opened doors for me to experience and spiritually to find another, true meaning. And this is who I am. But this is just me holding it with me, walking, going. Whereas the paparazzi maybe across the street, I didn't know. And they crucified me for it in America. They made me seem like Satan. I was a bad person for holding that Quran. And I was so happy to leave and go back to London after that, because I felt so unsafe in my own country after this. I mean, people were like horrible to me. And just because this is my belief, if this is something I want to learn, this is my own will. This is not for you to express. If you want to say it, keep it to yourself. I'm not looking at what you do every day. Maybe you're not doing enough because you're bored hurting me. But I can't imagine how many people go through this all the time. And that made me feel like an outsider. So I understand why, the Turkish people are upset, because they live in a great, beautiful place. And I understand why women that wear headscarves are looked at differently, because I felt like that. So when I was in Antep, she put that headscarf on me, I felt really honored because of that. Because she went out of her own way to allow me to be part of her culture. And she didn't have to do that. I was a stranger to her. And I merely said I really liked the color of her headscarf, and she gave it to me. And maybe she only has two, and she gave me one. There's more to that story that occurs. And I said, you know what? Because this woman took the time to give me this and a part of herself, not even knowing me, I'm not taking it off. And my first thought, and I said to my good friend Hilal, I said, but it scares me because people are going to look at the headscarf and only talk about that. Yeah. They're not going to ask the real questions about why. Because that's not interesting.
It will become headlines suddenly, right?
And it should. It should. It should be headlines. It's okay, because in Turkey you have a free will as a woman if you want to or you don't want to. That's why it's amazing here. You can choose what you want and it's accepted. Whereas I'm in America holding a Quran and I'm the devil. No, you have to acknowledge the good parts of a place where we think is so bad. People think it's so dangerous. It's like we're sitting in a really nice place and we're very lucky to even be here. Yeah. So it's about time we start, recognizing the truth and doing something.
SubhanAllah, as she was speaking about it, and she said, I felt unsafe in my own country. I was thinking, like, she experienced what it's like to be a visibly Muslim woman in America. And then after that, she had that own reflection. She's like, I now know that other people go through this every day. And you have this perception of Hollywood stars that they kind of like live in this la land and they don't really know what it feels like to be a real human being. But she has such deep insight, mashallah. She's so well connected to other people's experiences. And then she talked about the woman putting the hijab on her, and how it made her feel welcome. It made her feel like she was accepted into their culture. And she also appreciated that this woman who was giving her the headscarf, purely because she said she likes it, may not even have that much, but she's willing to share that with somebody who has so much. As a gesture of goodwill, as a gesture of Islamic values, and this represents, Muslim culture so well. And Christian Betzmann was talking about this in his interview with Islam Channel and how he felt so warm and welcomed by the Pakistani Muslim community, and this is what really warmed his heart to Islam. And this shows that the character of a Muslim is one of the most important things that we can show the world, to show what Islam truly is.
I think it's very important and to show the beauty of women and the essence of clothing with a bunch of strong women supporting the right things, and how fashion doesn't always have to be so naked, and it can be adventurous and still beautiful with a strong amount of women behind it. And I think to have this in London, to be a part of something like this, because I have such a strong connection with the Muslim communities.
I think spending so much time with the Muslim communities like she has really shown her the true essence of hijab, that it's not a form of oppression, it's actually an empowerment. And on our social media channels, you can see lots of videos we've been doing recently about what hijab means. We had some great videos come out on World Hijab Day, which talks more in depth about what different women feel about hijab, why we wear it, and what source of power and strength and connection to God that it gives us. Jazakallah khair for watching, and if you want more, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to all of our channels. Assalamu alaikum.